Hello YouTube and all inhabitants, my name is NeitoZ and welcome back to another video. Today is the beginning of something new that I have never really tried on this channel. So I remember like 2 months ago when I made a video about a TF2 Minecraft datapack. Well, I tried to update it so that the classes like Heavy and Sniper, like actually worked the way they were supposed to. Well, it didn't go too well, I'll just say that. I've spent hours trying to figure out how to make Heavy work, and he finally started to a little bit, but then we get to the absolute BS that is Sniper. I've tried detecting headshot, and the hitbox is so dang weird that sometimes it just works and sometimes it doesn't, and it's just infuriating to play him. And for whatever reason, I can't get body shots to ever do anything. So let's redo everything! First off, you see this crossbow? TF2 characters don't use crossbow.
You will go no further! Ah! This is actually really bad.
TF2 characters don't use crossbows. You know what else they don't use? Arrows! So how do I plan on fixing this? We're gonna use fully custom models. That's right. And for the arrows, armor stand raycasting. What's that, you ask? Well, basically, the armor stand will be spawned in front of a player wherever they shoot, and it will then travel infinitely in one direction until it hits a player or a wall. I'll also do some stuff with particles and it'll look freaking epic. So, let's get started with this. The first thing that we need to do is to set up the datapack file structure, but that's boring as frick. Now that we've got the file structure set up, we can start with the actual datapack. First thing I want to do is set up a mod message. Now what's that exactly? Basically, the person who triggers the setup function is designated as the moderator for the game. That means that they'll be able to decide when people get to pick their team and class, when the game gets reset. They'll even be able to decide where the ammo kits go, and any other things that'll go with the future games. Quick thing that I want to state here is that in the past, I've made the capture the flag datapack, but for this one, I'm actually just going to be making the base classes and then adding on whatever games I want to later. So this datapack is really just like the basis for everything that I'm going to do in the future. This message is just a quick tell raw command letting everyone in the game know who the mod is. So now if we go in game and run the setup, we get this message in the chat. Now we can get started with the first UI, or user interface. I start out by doing the visual stuff, like these click events, where basically if a player opens up their chat and clicks on a click here button, the pack will execute the message next to it. So now you'll see that if I go in game and trigger the setup function, it will say that I'm the mod, right there, wait like a second or two, and then show me the UI. Pretty cool stuff. Final thing is to have it set up so that the player who triggers this gets a mod tag, and we're good. So let's get to the funky ammo function. Before I get started, I'd just like to say that I have no idea why I'll make little baby comments and then other times I'll make screaming comments. So don't complain at me in the comments. Anyways, first thing that we need to do is have it so that the player gets some effects when they run this. First, they'll get instant health. This is because when a player picks up an ammo kit, we want them to actually get some health back. Not sure if I'm going to have different sized ammo kits later on so that you don't get back all of your health no matter what or not, but for now it's staying like this. So the first class that we're coding is the funny Boston man. So here we see that we use a replace item command to replace the item of the player who triggers this. Our selector is @s tag equals scout. @s meaning only the player who triggered the function, and tag equals scout meaning that it only triggers for the scout class. Tags are pretty cool. It basically allows you to select players really easily based on what they do in the game. So you can see that I have the replace item command give the player certain items for the scout. We will come back to these in a bit once I go over the kits and their item. Next up is the class function. So in order for the player to actually tell the game that they want to be a scout, we'll have to run a function for them. We start by having it remove all other class tags and then have it give them the scout tag. It then kills them so that they get set back to spawn, and then runs the ammo function, giving the player all of the items of their respective class. Now if I go in game and run the scout function, you can see that it works just as it should, killing me and then giving me all of the items. But what's this? The items are given to me as I die, meaning that I won't have any of them when I respawn, because I, well, died. That brings us back to the load function, where I talk about game rules. The load function is basically what the pack tells the game to do when we first start up. So as soon as the world is loaded or reloaded, this function will play. In here, I'm going to make keep inventory true so that we don't lose our items when we die. Keep inventory is basically right what it says on the tin. When you die, you keep your inventory. But then we have another problem. If we switch classes, couldn't the player just move the items around in their inventory so that once they pick a new class, they have 2 classes items? No. And the reason is that at the top of this function, we tell the game to clear the person who triggered the function, so that they lose all of their previous items before they get the new ones. Now, you see that if we run the scout function, it kills us, and we get all of our epic gamer items. So now I'm going to make it so that clicking this message in chat that is supposed to allow players to pick their team and class actually lets them.
Epic gamer coding montage.
Yeah, boy.
Alright, nice. Now if I press this, the pick team message appears. Then if I press scout, you see that I get all of his nice items, and that if I check my tags, the team that I picked appears. In this new class UI, you can see that we have the classes split up by type, and yes, I'm doing all 9 this time. This is gonna be like a lot of work. I'm like just now realizing what a massive task this is gonna be. How am I gonna do engineer? Oh my god. Alright, I'm not even gonna worry about that right now, because that sounds like a problem for future me. Alright, let's make it so that the reset button actually works. I'll use this for debugging stuff, and of course, we do kind of need this for the game to actually work right. Alright, that's all done. Now, you can see that if I choose Scout, all of my items and tags that were given by the datapack are cleared. So now a new problem has arisen. You can see that here, if I run the Scout function, everything works as it should, but it says that the Scout function was run. Now, this is an issue because obviously I have operator permissions on this world because I have cheats allowed. But a player that's on a server that isn't opt by the owner because, you know, they might not trust them, they can't really pick their team or class because they don't have perms. This is where triggers come in. Alright, so what's a trigger? Basically, we have a scoreboard, right? And when a player quote-unquote triggers the scoreboard, they get a certain value added to their score, in this case, 5. Now, the cool thing about this is that if we put this trigger command into a clickable chat message, even a player without perms can trigger it. So all that we need to do is replace all of these functions with triggers, and when the trigger of a player is set to a certain value, the pack runs the function for them. If you didn't get that at all, don't worry about it. All that you need to go is that datapack go beep boop, and it now works as it should. So now I've changed all of these clickable messages into triggers instead of functions. We have a few commands testing for these values, and everything works as it should, regardless of if you have operator permissions or not. Alright, so it's been like a day, and I've made it so that depending on your team and class, you will get armor depending on your team color and health pool, and that class's head. Also, classes like Heavy and Soldier have boots that make them slower, and Scout has sneakers that make him the super speedy Boston boy that he is. Been a bit more time now, and I've made some texture updates. First, I also made a rocket launcher, and it actually turned out amazing, so that's cool. Next thing I need to do is to make the shotgun for Soldier, and I thought I'd just show off a little montage of how I make the models. now I'll add the shotgun to the ammo function, and oh my god, this thing has gotten big and confusing. Wait, where even am I? Oh, right, I am a little baby comment. Finally, before this ends, I just want to show off the epic shovel that I made for Soldier. This is actually a retextured diamond pickaxe, because the diamond pickaxe has a cooldown when you swing it. Quickly before this starts, I just want to say, first off, thanks for 900 subs. Whoa. And second off, I want to apologize for the long wait after I literally made an update video. I switched to a new editing software, and this project has been absolutely massive for me, and it doesn't help that I got halfway through the project and lost everything. Also, this is very different from anything I've ever done, so now is the time. If you like this, please tell me. I'm not gonna put out videos that take me a month to make if no one wants to see them. Other content is coming down the line that I'm very excited about, so enjoy.